morning.
Good morning.
Wow, really great to see everybody. And you know, really, it's really great to be home. I don't get home near enough these days, but to be here back in Oklahoma City and be among so many great folks and good friends and members of my old department, this is really exciting for me. You know, I was walking over here this morning from where I parked, and like I say, I've been away for a little bit, 2 years or so, and come back to the city, and I see streetcars and electric scooters and Veggie Fest going on over here in the park. And I'm thinking, you know, that's pretty doggone cool. So again, it's great to be back home. As I mentioned, I started this appointment about 2 years ago. And the only reason why I bring that up is I don't know about you all, but I'm thinking in this day and age, 2 years is not a bad run for a political appointee in D.C. under this current administration. But I'm happy to be representing the fire service in at this stage and at this role right now. And again, to come back home and be among so many good friends is really nice. So I don't want to take up too much of your time this morning because I know you're itching to get at those stairs, and we'll get you going here pretty quick. But I do want to express my own appreciation to the committee, the Oklahoma Firefighters Foundation, for having me here and for the great work that they do. And getting you all here together like this. And by doing what you're doing this morning, again, obviously the most important part is remembering and not forgetting what happened 18 years ago and those we lost then. But the support right here locally of your brothers and sisters in the fire service when they have needs as far as their families are concerned. So to them and all the great volunteers that we have over here, I'd ask that you show your appreciation to them once more today. So as I said, we're obviously here this morning. The most important reason is to remember. And we like to use that term, we never forget. And obviously this memorializes 18 years ago in New York City when the Twin Towers fell. We lost 343 firefighters, 61 law enforcement officers that day. And obviously we should never forget that. You were wearing tags around your collars today, around your necks with a name tag with a photo and the name of at least one of those firefighters and police officers that we lost that day. And I don't know if you've taken the time to look at that. I don't know if you might not even know their own story, but maybe after today you could look at that name again and try and learn a little bit more about that person and their contribution and what they gave and the sacrifice they made. I think the few times that I've done a stair climb, I always looked for Captain Terry Hatton's name. Terry was one of the task force members that came here in '95 to work with us during the Murrah building incident. So I've always thought about Terry. I've been able to talk to his wife a few times since then and stay in contact there. So again, remember that person whose name you have around your neck today. And obviously, beyond the numbers, because I want you to remember something else and not forget this. Yes, 343 that day, 61 law enforcement officers. But let's not forget this either. In the 18 years since then, as of July of this year, 200 more firefighters were lost to 9/11 related illness. And as far as I'm concerned, and certainly at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Emmitsburg, Maryland, we're starting to remember those every year at the memorial service there. And as far as I'm concerned, they count just as much. And hopefully in future stair climbs, we have those names on our tags as well. And we can increase the number of people that we think about during those times. Again, since that time, 71 law enforcement officers have been lost to 9/11 related illness. We can't forget those either. We have to remember those. And that should make us aware of one thing, that beyond those people that we lost that day, we lose too many since then, and not just there, but across the country. to various illnesses that are directly related to the work we do, both physically and mentally and psychologically. So today as you climb, I also want you to remember each other. Look around, the people that you're with, the people from your own community that you work with, the people from this state. And remember that we have a responsibility toward one another. In my position, in going around the country, I still see too many instances of people not using the proper protective measures that are afforded to them this day and subjecting themselves to the hazards of our profession that cause illness and injury and even death. And in saying that, I can't help but stand here this morning and recognize Carolyn Osborne, who we lost her husband, Chief Osborne, to cancer. And we know in the fire service that is becoming more increasingly something that's we're losing too many of our members to. So let's remember to look out for one another, to make sure that we're using all the protective equipment and measures that we have available to us, and not let ourselves be subjected to those things that could cause us sickness and even death. So let's remember to do that as well. And maybe more importantly, you know, I see a lot of family members here today, and I think that's just so great. That not only do they support you day in and day out in the work you do, in the communities that you serve, but they're here this morning with you, encouraging you and cheering you on in this. So, you know, and as an example of that, I'm tickled to death to have my mom and dad, Mary and Jerry, here with us this morning. And, so let's not forget, let's remember our families and the support that they give us, and that really it's because of them that we're able to do what we do. So again, it's good to be here with you this morning. On behalf of President Donald J. Trump, Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan, and Acting FEMA Administrator Pete Gaynor, we so much appreciate what you do. And personally, I can't help but thank you enough, appreciate the work that you all do, and appreciate who you are. So God bless. Climb safely this morning. Look out for one another. Enjoy your time here together today with one another.
I'd like to take this moment to thank Chief Bryan for coming out to us. So the Stair Climb Committee came together and got a tumbler. It has a representation of the April 19th Murrah Building Memorial. It also has the 9/11 343 Twin Towers, and then it also has the OKC Stair Climb logo on it. We'd like to present it to them. At this time, I'd like to have Mr. Mike Billingsley come up to the stage.
I'm rookie. And I was going to try not to cry, but it's too late. Yeah, I'm an emotional guy. As you know, this honors the 343 firefighters and the 61 law enforcement officers that died in 9/11. Your registration fee helps put on the next year's stair climb. It also helps support an apartment for burn victims' families. It's located 4 miles from the Baptist Burn Center. But we also use it to help firefighter, and we're going to change that to public safety people that across the state that come here for medical help. This year so far, we've helped 4 families from Moreland Fire Department, Claremore Fire Department, Tulsa Fire Department, and somewhere else. Lawton Fire Department. And right now we have a family from Altus in there. Today we have an honored guest from Claremore. This is a family that stayed in the apartment for 2 months. 2 months. while her husband was going through medical care at Baptist. He was a deputy chief at Claremore Fire Department. Do you want to say something? She wants to say something.
Well, I'm going to read something because I knew when I got up here I would forget everything I wanted to say. 3 months ago today, my husband, Marty Osborne, lost his battle. Our family is here today to say thank you to the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb organization for all you do and for all you did for us. On April 22nd, after 3 weeks in a Tulsa hospital, my husband was transferred to Integris Baptist for what we thought would be a few weeks to receive life-saving treatment called ECMO. Once the decision was made to transfer to Oklahoma City, things moved really quick. My mind was a blur. I ran home, packed a few things, thinking I would be here a few weeks. By the time I got back to the hospital in Tulsa, let me back up. I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't know where I would stay. None of that mattered. I just needed to get my husband up here and give him a chance to get well. And by the time I got back to the hospital that day, members of our department had coordinated with Mike and had made arrangements for us to stay in the apartment. We ended up being there for 7 weeks. I can truly say that that was one of the biggest blessings that we received. The list is long of the blessings, the people that stepped up and supported our family and showed us love. But having a place to stay after long days at the hospital, I could leave knowing he was in good hands. I could go and refuel for the next long day. And that was, you can't put a price tag on that. It was amazing. I had everything I need. And during our 7 weeks there, Mike called all the time, checked on me, texted, made sure there wasn't anything at all I need. I lacked for nothing the 7 weeks that I was here. My family was cared for. I recognize that this event is to commemorate the 9/11, the firefighters and the men and women that were lost at that time. But it also signifies to me the selflessness of the fire service. After 32 years as part of Claremore Fire Department, I've seen a lot of selflessness firsthand, being part of the fire family. Is one of the greatest privileges of my life. To all firefighters and their families, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do, all you give, and the lives you touch each and every day. And thank you to Mike and the Memorial Stair Climb organization for providing a warm and comfortable place for families. Thank you very much.
I forgot what I was going to say after that. Thank you for being here. Love you guys and girls.
Thank you to the Osborne family for coming down and speaking with us today. I'd like to introduce Ms. Sherry Summers for the rules and directions for today's event.
You guys ready to get started? I know you are, right? Mama's got some rules though. So we're guests in this house, right? So please be aware of your packs. Try not to bang them into the side of the building. We want to come back if we can. Okay? Remember, drink, stay cool, stay hydrated, especially you guys in bunker gear. If you haven't been practicing in bunker gear, you know when you put it on that it is a whole other level. So stay ahead of it, okay? If you do get sick, we have sick bags up and down the stairs. We've got volunteers with water and those sick bags. If you can at all help not getting sick in the stairwell on the floor, that would be super helpful to us when we have to clean it up later. You know what I'm saying? There's stops on 8, 15, and 22. If you need anything at any time, holler out. We can take care of you. There's volunteers everywhere. How this is going to run, we're going to come down the side of this building. We're going to enter the building under the flag. We're going to go into the southeast stairwell. You guys will ascend to 31. You'll come back down to the first floor so your families can see you. You're going to go into the northeast tower and you'll ascend to 25. Then you'll come back down to 1. Repeat the first 30. And then you'll go down to the concourse, come to 24, then down to the concourse again, and then up, and you'll put your tag on the accountability board. I know that means nothing to you guys right now. You're all going, I don't understand. When you're spinning, just ask a volunteer, where do I go? And we will help you. Try to remember if it's like your second time, your third time up. That's helpful to the volunteers to let you know where you need to be. All right, I think we're ready to get started, John. Thank you.
One important reminder is please do not spit in the stairwells. That would be great. Yes, bags are for the other stuff. So on September 11th, 2001, otherwise known as 9/11, which next Wednesday will be the 18th year of the deadliest terrorist attack that our great nation has ever faced. Today we remember all the victims of this horrific day. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11, with 87 souls on board, crashed into the North Tower in the World Trade Center. At 9:03 a.m., United Flight 175, with 60 souls on board, crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77, with 59 souls on board, crashed into the Pentagon. 56 minutes after being hit, the South Tower at 9:59 a.m. would collapse. At 10:03 a.m., United Flight 93, with 40 souls and the brave men that rushed the cockpit, crashed into the field in Shankville, Pennsylvania. 102 minutes later, after the North Tower was struck, at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower would succumb to it. Our great nation lost 2,977 people that day. And today, we climb in honor of the 343 FDNY brothers and the 61 New York Police Department and Port Authority and New York Fire Patrol brothers and sisters that lost their life on that day. Would you please remove your helmets and hats for a moment of silence? Group 1, if you prepare to climb. Group 1, you may begin your climb.
This way, follow the back bike.
Follow the back bike.
This way, guys. That way, that way.
All that.
Group 2, you may begin your climb. If all the groups can move up as the next group leaves so we can keep the line coming, go ahead. Group 3, you may begin your climb.
You're all right. You're just fine.
Group 4, you may begin your climb.
Follow me.
I only know a button to
Group 5, you may begin your climb. Group 6, you can begin your climb. Group 7, you can begin your climb. Group 8, you can begin your climb.
Appreciate it, gang.
Group 9, you can begin your climb. Group 10, I believe, or Group 9? Which one are we at? 9 or 10? 10. Group 10, you may get your climb. Go ahead and move up if you're in the next group. Go ahead and move up. Group 11, you may begin your climb. Group 12, you may begin your climb.
What are we on? Are we on group 12? Is this 12 back here or 11? 13? You're group 13? Come on up here. We've got a little backup, but we're gonna stage you right up here. And then we'll get you going.
Hey, stand behind this.
Just hang right here. You're awesome. Thank you for being here.
You're doing a good job.